Hello everybody, welcome back for part 2, the Mora 1 comparison, and this time it will be about cutting tasks, a comparison of edge retention. So these are the same 3 Moras that I compared in the previous video, and I will be using them to cut through different items, everyday items. So a piece of band, some tie wraps, I will make a notch in a piece of wood, cordage, we'll cut that a few times. I have a carrot, apple, onion. Of course, I will start out with a piece of paper to test the sharpness in advance, and then after all the cutting. And I also have a piece of cardboard that I will be cutting through a few slices, and we'll see which one has the best edge retention. So we have. Let's start the cutting. We'll start with the sharpness test. See how they're doing in advance. This is the plain Mora sharp. This is the laminated. Okay, very well indeed. And we have the 125th. And well, alright, so they're very sharp, or at least they're equally sharpish. You know, let's cut some food. So we have, and other products anyway. Let's start with an apple, something most people will do sooner or later, hiking, camping. You know, you just want to cut yourself an apple, maybe take out the inner parts, and well, it does it well, no problem here. Great, apples are not great. Alright, let's try the laminated version. Let's get an apple. Well, you can feel that it is a relatively thick blade actually, compared to kitchen knives actually, but it does the trick. Yeah, no problem there. Alright, let's do the 125th anniversary, and yeah, also great, yeah, great little knife. Easy. Yeah, no problem there. So I will be eating apple pie later on, so no worries. Voila. Okay, that's that. So let's do an onion. Maybe a little tougher. Let's start with the, I don't know, just cut them like this, maybe. Start with, and then have 1/2, and then just slice that up. So, and now cut that in pieces. Just cutting an onion, really rough. So, I'll also be having onion soup, actually. So, that was pretty well. Then let's do that with, well, that is a little bit tougher. You are noticing now that the blades are relatively thick, so you do have some issues there, but hey, it is actually doing great. Let's do the 125th anniversary version. Now you notice that the blade is a little bit shorter, and with a big onion like this, that's when you notice that the blade is a little bit short actually, but when it comes to pieces it'll be fine. Now let's try and do some fine cutting. Alright, pretty good. Laminated version. This actually feels a little bit thicker. I don't know. Let's try this one. Alright, it makes pretty thin slices. Alright, so that is that. Let's do a tie wrap. Let's see how they do. Okay, pretty easy. Okay, a little bit harder work there. Well, maybe it's also the way how you cut it. All right, let's do a piece of. Let's use this one because I have plenty of that. So let's do a piece of. I don't know what is it called. Okay, it cuts. It cuts very easily. Let's do this one as well. Oh yeah, very easy. All right, let's put it down. Let's get one of that black stuff and see how it cuts. All right, it does cut. All right, one go. Oh, maybe two. All right, try again. Yeah, a little bit more pressure and it's fine. Go, one go, almost one go. Yeah, you have to push it down, but they're cutting great. All right, so we did that. Let's do a notch in the wood that I picked up from the street. I don't actually know, but it's pretty dry because it's been on the street a while. All right, well, that goes pretty easy. Pretty good notch. Nothing to worry there. Let's do a notch here. Now let's do the laminated steel version. And again, as you would expect from a Mora in this capacity, not much effort. I'm almost, all right. I think I'm almost through there. No, okay. Pretty good notch. Let's do one here. Let's see how. Yeah, this seems to be going pretty smooth. Of course, this one felt a little bit sharper to start with, but look at that. I mean, only a few cuts and it's already in very deep. Yeah, all right, so let's see, do I have anything else left? No, I think I tried everything. All right, let's do some cordage. Yeah, I got some cordage. Let's do 1 and 2, so 1 cut, and then let's do something double. Yeah, 2 rope. Yeah, no problem there. All right, so let's do 1. I have rope enough, so let's do it like that. This is the laminated version. Yeah, no problem. Cut it through. Yeah, goes fine. Okay, let's do this one. Yeah. Okay, maybe double. Yeah, also very easily. Okay, I clean this up first, and then I'll have my final thoughts. Thank you. See you in a minute. Okay, welcome back. So we know that the knives are still sharp. Actually, not much of a problem there. Ooh, that didn't go well. Alright, it's still pretty sharp, but could use a little touch up. Oh, well, well, I think this one suffered a little. That's actually the 125th anniversary version. All right, so in hindsight, well, as you can see, they practically kept their sharpness after everything we cut it through, and they did also, well, they did it quite effortless actually. It all went well. So a few things. When cutting the onion and bigger stuff, you notice that the blade of the 125th anniversary version is actually a little bit short. So you'll notice that, and you need maybe a second cut or a different approach. So that's where you notice that this is a little bit on the short side. When I cleaned them off, I actually noticed that the laminated version all started to have all that patina on it. So probably the onion did some work on the steel, pretty fast actually. So there you have that. So all in all, the very normal cheap version actually held pretty good. Now when cutting, I noticed that the laminated version and the more expensive steel did cut a little bit better. I mean, it felt just a little bit smoother than the normal cheap version of the Mora one, but not that much of a difference. But at some things, other knives excel. This one did very well in the wood, cutting a notch did very well, and with other tasks they performed about equally. What I did notice was that the thicker steel of the laminated version actually kind of makes it harder, and that goes for that one as well, for the 125th anniversary version, that the onion started to become very heavy cutting through the onion, while this one did very well. So the thinner blade has an advantage there. So all in all, they held their edge pretty good. This one started to struggle a little bit. So if you're talking about value for money, I think if you're just going camping or hiking, if it's all the same to you, I would still buy this one and throw this in my bag, the €14 version, because I mean, it will hold up pretty good, it slices great, and you know, for €14 you can afford to lose it and break it or what have you. Not that you will break it, but you know. So that's a good option. If I had to choose between the two of these, I'd say I go for this one. I mean, this one carved very well in the wood, and it's just a very beautiful knife, and it has a shorter blade, yes, but it makes it lighter, but it's a joy to use, and you get the leather sheet for only a little bit more money than this one, because this one is, I believe, around 60 and this 65 or so, and this is about 55, 57 euros. So for a little bit more you'll have that limited edition special knife with the leather sheet, you know, which is a very nice step up from the plastic or the artificial plasticky thingy here. So I think they are great cutters, and they hold their edge pretty good. Good at edge retention, and they are a joy to use. So hopefully this helped you, and have a nice day. Good luck. Bye.